Have you ever met Hieda-san?
No, and I've written him letters asking to meet him multiple times. I think he threw them away. He's never responded.
Huh.
No, Dame Gaijin. Dame Gaijin. You know, it's okay.
Nothing? No response? Nothing?
No response. No, yes, response. Dame Gaijin. No, thank you.
Huh.
No, thank you.
No rejection, nothing?
No, rejection. No, thank you.
So how was the meeting with Mr. Shimizu?
Oh, the meeting with Mr. Shimizu was so disappointing. I feel so sorry for him. He is in such a difficult situation, so much pressure from the ghost of Hieda-san, right? So he's under fantastic pressure from Kanemitsu-san, who is still the shacho, right? From Hieda-san, who's calling him on the phone every day, I'm sure, saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? How are we going to get the votes, etc. So I'm having to deal with that, and he has to deal with that. And so he can't make any decisions, it seems. And that's really sad when, the future shacho of the company cannot make any decisions.
So that's what you felt when you went there?
I felt so sad for him that he couldn't make decisions. Also, I told him how disappointed I was that he wouldn't negotiate with us. We could have helped put the all-star team together, both of us, right? He could have picked the best from his group, I could have helped pick the best from my group, and you would have ended up with a team approach. There would be no more fighting, and this would have made Fuji Media much better for the employees, much better for the sponsors, much better for the viewers. I think that would have been the best result. But no. They don't want to pick anybody from my all-star team, nobody from the Dodgers. They want to pick their own group, and so unfortunately, this is where we are today.
So I heard, I want to ask you about the current perception strategy. Do you feel that Dalton's intention, your intention or message have not been accurately conveyed through the media? You think it's a little bit of difference?
So Donald Trump says that all media is good media, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, it doesn't matter. All media is good media. So personally, I've been portrayed in lots of different ways. Hopefully people who are watching or listening or reading will make up their own mind. Because the reality is, this is like voting, right? You vote in politics. I try and compare it to your all-star team, right? In Japan, usually in July, you have an all-star game, right? In May and June, usually each baseball fan will vote for who they feel is the best player for the all-star team, right? Right now, Dalton has put together a team that I compare to the Dodgers, okay? And they have put a team together that I think is like the minor league. But let's not say that. Let's say they have put together a team. And now it's your job as a shareholder to pick and choose your team, your all-star team. So not my job to pick for you. It's your job as the shareholder to decide who is your all-star team. And that's what we want to see. This is called shareholder democracy.
So what's the most frustrating part for you? Like they didn't admit your offer, right?
The most frustrating part is not willing to talk, right? In life, the best thing to do is to talk, because once we find common ground, life is much easier, and less fighting is always better for both groups. But if you don't want to talk to me, nothing happens. And so I have to put up my team, my all-star team, they have to put up their team, and now we'll see what the shareholders decide for themselves. I think the shareholders, the sponsors, the employees would have much rather seen a settlement here. All of the old boys, all of the old board of directors are gone. So I'm sure that they would have liked to see a settlement. Without the help of the sponsors pulling all the advertising, without the employees, putting pressure and joining the union, right? Without the viewers, right? These are your customers. Without the viewers screaming and yelling at them, and without the shareholders also putting pressure, none of this would happen. We raised our hand when there was a problem at Fuji Media, a sex scandal issue, and it was joined by all the stakeholders in Japan. This is what's made the change, not Dalton. The change was made by sponsors, employees, viewers, shareholders. That's what did it, all combined. they should have listened, and they should still be listening. And sadly, they weren't willing to talk to us.
So I want to talk about the candidates, that you have 12 candidates, right?
Yeah, talk to me about which of my candidates is the Otani?
Oh.
In your opinion, who's Otani?
My opinion. It's a difficult question, but
No, it's
I
an
know
easy question.
I know
on.
Fukuda-san.
Who is it?
I know Fukuda, Mr. Fukuda.
Ah, he is Yamamoto.
He's Yamamoto. Okay, it's difficult.
He's my superstar pitcher. Okay, who's my Otani?
You want me to say Mr. Kitao?
It's obvious. Come on.
It's obvious.
It's obvious. Okay, and Dr. Kitatani, who's he? He's Roberts. He's the coach.
It's so difficult. I don't know much about.
Dr. Kitatani. Okay, so the coach of the Dodgers is
can you
Roberts.
explain? Yeah.
Dr. Kitatani, I see as he's Roberts. Okay. So who is Mr. Betts? Who's Mr. Freeman? Tanaka-san.
Tanaka-san? Okay.
Tanaka-san, you know why?
Why?
17 years Goldman Sachs, head of real estate. What does Fuji Media have that's very important and super valuable? Real estate, Sankai building. Come on, you got to have a real estate expert on your team. He's Mookie Betts. He's my Mookie Betts.
Betts.
And I asked him at breakfast on Friday, what do you think Fuji Sankei is worth? And he said 450 billion to 550 billion yen. Okay? Now, that amount is worth the current value of Fuji Media Holding. So you get the media company and the stock portfolio for free. So there's a long way to go as far as shareholders, in my opinion, are concerned. And one other thing you should take into consideration, which is very important. Cash. Now, you shouldn't feel sorry for Fuji Media Holdings. It has 200 billion yen in cash. And they say in their proposal and in their plan, we can't spin off Fuji Sankei building because it makes money and we need it for our new media. Well, I agree that they need to invest and take risk in new media. But if you have 200 billion yen in cash, why do you need a business that has nothing to do, in my opinion, with media? Management, Shimizu-san says, we think there's synergy between media and real estate. You are in the media business.
Yes.
Please explain to me the synergy between hotels, apartment buildings, and commercial real estate and the media business. Nothing. Zero. Absolutely nothing. It's absurd. In English, we call it bullshit. But in Japanese, it doesn't translate.
No.
But maybe some Japanese have heard bullshit in the movies, right?
Yes.
So I call that kind of talk bullshit talk.
Have you ever talked to Mr. Horie?
I've met him once. He came to my office and offered me a bag of chips.
Oh, the chips.
Yes, he has some company that makes potato chips, I think.
Yeah.
And he offered me a bag of chips. And he was very smiley and he seemed very happy and he was, very excited. So, he seems like a guy with a lot of energy. Really interesting guy with a lot of energy. And he seems to have a huge social media following. So, that's fantastic. Anybody that is willing to offer new ideas should be listened to.
But what was the reason for not selecting him as a candidate?
Oh, he's an extremely controversial character. And we have enough interesting and really high-profile people. And Kitao-san, who listens to Horimon, I suspect will be the arbiter. And maybe Horimon would be better in some other area. And he's a bit spicy.
A bit spicy for you, for the team?
He's a bit spicy on the team, exactly. In my opinion, if you had to put a list of the top 10 entrepreneurs and gutsy CEOs in Japan, who should be on that list, okay? And I'll give you some and then you tell me, right? So I would pick Son-san, okay? The founder of SoftBank as top of my list, okay? Have you ever heard of Uniqlo and fast retailing? You've heard the name Yanai-san?
Yes. course.
That guy, absolutely on my list, okay? Have you heard or are you a customer of Rakuten? Okay. Mikitani-san, okay? I would put him on the list. Have you heard of Monex? Oki Matsumoto, I put on that list. Now, there's another guy who is actually a fourth generation, great-great-grandson of a founder of a very big company in Japan named Akio Toyoda. He just announced that he's going to go after and buy Toyota Industries. I put him on the list for being super gutsy. Now, you tell me, who would you put on the list? Who else is on the top 10, in your opinion, of Japanese entrepreneurs or gutsy CEOs? Is Kitao-san on that list? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. So, if I've got one of the top 10 already, what a great team. So, there were other people on that list that I just gave you that reached out. Okay, I won't give you the names, but there were others on the list that reached out. And they say, we want change at Fuji Media.
Is it going to happen? You can't say that right now, but is it going to?
Can't tell you who,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, if people on that list reached out and said, we want to see change,
Right.
quietly, they say, and maybe helped us put the list of our superstar, all-star team together, you know, that meant that I was making something happen that lots of people wanted. It wasn't Dalton alone. We've been helped by all sorts of super high-profile people in Japan. Fuji Media Holdings and Hieda-san made a lot of enemies along the way, in my opinion, okay? He made a lot of enemies. Obviously, he made a lot of friends, but he must have made some enemies because people just called up out of the blue at this type of level, at such a high profile level, and said, we want to see change and we think that you can help make change.
You know, for many in Japan, the situation evokes the memories of Live Door, Fuji, saga. So Mr. Kitao was involved in the both cases, right?
Yep.
So are you in communication actually in the so-called ex-Murakami fund? Are you talking?
So Aya Murakami. This is someone the company should have called when she started buying stock. My feeling was if I was in the senior management of the company and I saw Aya Murakami's ownership going up and up and up,
Right.
I would have called her up and said, Aya-san, come and sit on our board. Right?
Right, yeah.
Right? It's not Daddy, it's Aya. She's the owner. I would have said, please come on my board. Maybe you can stop Rosenwald-san, right? But I would have immediately invited her. Shimizu-san would not invite her. She met with him. He did the same thing to her that he's done to us. Ignore, completely ignore. So when I met with Aya-san, I said, what do you want to see happen at Fuji Media? What is, if you had one thing that you wanted to see happen at Fuji Media? So she says, Jamie, I want to see spin-off of Sankai Building. I said, okay, interesting, great idea, okay, that's it.
So I didn't know that was her idea to spin off the real estate.
Yeah, so that was her idea. And I think it's a great idea.
So some media have reported that Dalton has expressed a reluctance towards engaging in a full proxy fight. What do you think about a proxy fight?
Look, the media would love to hear me say, it's a proxy fight.
Yeah.
But it's an election. I mean, you can call it a proxy fight. That means they have their team, we have our team, and we're fighting. Do I look like a real fighter? I mean, seriously. I'm a joke. I'm an old guy who's a shareholder of the company. I represent my shareholders. I'm going to vote the best team that I can for my clients, right? So you can call it proxy fight. I call it an election. And I compare it to the all-star team, right? You get so many votes, you get to pick and choose. We could call it an election like a political election, right? You get so many choices of candidates. You have the LDP, you have the DPJ, you have Komaito. You've got a whole bunch of different political teams. You should pick who you want. Shareholders have the opportunity to pick who they want. If you want to call it a proxy fight,
Right.
Okay, ganbatte, fight. But reality is, come on, it's just a bunch of shareholders making a decision on who is going to do the best job for for them. Please vote for my all-star team. Please, if you're a shareholder and you're listening to this, please vote the way you feel, and please vote for the best players for the all-star team. You, the shareholders, get to decide. You get to pick and choose. You get the votes. Please pick the best players. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.